Welcome back to the capsON Sports Podcast. My name is Tyler Blumenstick, joined by Nick Tobias, Sam Meehan, and Anthony Mano. We are back here with Week 11 of the NFL season. Season's really flying by. It's pretty crazy. I still suck. Nothing else is new. My colleagues over here, they don't really suck. Oh, Sammy's kind of in the same boat as me, but Mano and Nick are keeping everything afloat. Mano's at 54%, Nick's at 49%. Sam's at 40, and I'm in last at 39%. How you guys doing?
Stick that push we had in week 5 is really killing. It's really killing me right now. It's keeping me under 500.
It's killing me too, because if we won, I'd be tied with Sammy. I wouldn't be the sole possessor of last place, but I am. So
it's 1 possession point.
Hey,
one percentage.
I'm gonna brag about bronze till I'm in last, so I'll keep my third place. A lot of another bullshit loss with the over in Atlanta, Dallas, but I'm not here to complain.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're 10 weeks into the season. I got 2 teams on my no bet list. That's pretty good. I would expect more than 2 at this point.
We expect half the league at this point.
Sam's the meme of the dude on the third place pedestal, like chugging the champagne,
Let's go,
kissing the woman and biting the metal just for it to zoom out, and he's on third.
Might as well, right? You gotta find a reason to celebrate something.
Podium's a podium.
Exactly.
I just closed it out of our Google Doc by accident, so give me a second. I know the first game is going to be Thursday night at 8:20 p.m. because it is every single week. I believe this week is the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. I don't want to play guesswork with the line here, so give me a second.
All right, so it's New England at Atlanta. Atlanta plus 6.5 at home, total set at 47.5.
Okay, we got one pick on it, and that's Mano.
Yes, sir.
Mano's taking the first team on my no bet list.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta. Listen, I think they've been playing really good football the past handful of weeks. I know last week they got blown out by Dallas, right? And I know there's not a team hotter in the NFL than the Patriots, but they got to go on the road on a Thursday, short week for both teams. I just think laying a touchdown on the road, I want to see more from the Patriots offense. I know Mac Jones has been, the best rookie quarterback, but I don't think the Falcons are the team that got washed by Dallas last week. And Dallas is a really good team. I don't know if the Patriots can do the same thing. So bounce back game for Atlanta. I'll take the touchdown on the road or at home.
Okay. Interesting. Moving on. Let's go to Sunday. Baltimore Ravens, Chicago Bears. First 1 o'clock game. We got the Chicago Bears plus 4.5. The total set at 45. We only have one pick on it. That is myself. I don't have the tab up before, but I'm going to be on Baltimore. I saw one key stat here. It was the game logs, the Chicago Bears defense versus running backs. I believe it was the Cleveland Browns for sure, the Bucks, and I forget the other team. But when they faced teams that are pretty much run first, like the Ravens, they let up like 150 plus yards on the ground and ended up losing the game. So I think that the Ravens are a much better team. I feel like it's not far-fetched to say that in the first place. But the Ravens have been slouching a little bit, and I feel like going into Chicago here is not an easy place to play, but I feel like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens should probably be able to get this done.
Does the line seem a little fishy to you? Why is it only 4.5? I feel like Baltimore should be at least 6.5, at least a touchdown better than Chicago. Chicago doesn't have a defense. Khalil Mack hasn't really been playing. They're missing Eddie Jackson. I don't really know if Roquan Smith's been playing, but who's on their defense? I don't really know.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know. It is a little bit fishy.
I'm not touching. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Justin Fields is kind of coming into his own and kind of starting to feel comfortable in the Chicago offense. Maybe that's why they're getting 4.5 points. Baltimore's also kind of not healthy. So maybe, I mean, I saw Hollywood Brown miss practice today. I saw they were declared Derek Wolfe out, defensive lineman for the rest of the year. Maybe that does something. They released Lev Bell. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Lev Bell being released is going to change my pick at all, but regardless, let's move on to Detroit versus the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Also at 1 o'clock, we got a Cleveland 11.5 spread at home here, 43.5 on the total. Sam's got one pick on it. You're on Cleveland. Why? Explain it.
I'm rethinking my. I'm gonna skip this again. I'm going back to my original. So no more of that.
I think it's a good call. I mean, we're not sure if Goff is going to play. He got an oblique strain in arguably the worst game of the year last week against Pittsburgh, man, you can go ahead and fact check me, but he definitely has an oblique strain. He missed practice today.
I believe you. I was going to see who their backup was.
David Blau.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
David
not.
Blau
It's
is their
not David
backup.
Blau. I forget who it is. I saw a notification about it today.
Okay. Man, I want confirmation on this since you're on the computer.
Okay.
I'm gonna
David
find
Blau
this.
won a game. He won a game last year, didn't he?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Detroit's so bad. It's just 11.5 points is so fat.
This would be
No,
the
fuck it.
most.
I'm doing it.
It is David Blau.
It
It
is
would
David
be
Blau.
the
Boyle.
most-
I'm going back to Cleveland. I apologize for tippy tapping this a little bit, but just because Detroit has the third worst rushing defense in NFL, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Browns can indeed run the football, and just they can control the game enough, and especially if there's no Goff, who doesn't scare me to begin with, the Browns front seven should dominate. So no, let's go with Cleveland.
You're sticking with it. All right.
I'm going back to Cleveland, which is really good sign that I'm going back and forth in this. So real confident this one.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a stay away game to me, but
It probably should be, but I didn't want to take Green Bay. I don't know why it scares me.
All right. We
So
digress.
an amendment to my previous statement. The Lions website has listed David Blau as the backup, but upon further research, Tim Boyle was taking
Boyle.
first team reps
Yes.
today in practice. So
Just because he was taking
um,
reps doesn't mean anything.
hey man, I don't pretend to be in the mind of Dan Campbell because I
Listen,
feel like it's a very scary place. But
Does it really matter who starts for the Detroit Lions? Is the real question.
no,
No.
not necessarily. This would
I
be the
think
most
I think if you-
Browns outcome ever, though, if they just lost to the team that's
Yeah.
got no wins and in the tie.
That would be bad. I
Would
think
be very fitting.
I think
for
a
the
backup's
Cleveland
better
Browns.
for Detroit than Goff because a backup at least has nothing to lose. Goff has something to lose. David Blau or whatever the hell his name is, Tim Boyle has nothing to lose. They'll go out there slinging it. All right, Stick.
Yeah, why not?
Get us out of Detroit, please.
Yeah, let's get out. Well, it's Cleveland. I kind of want to get out of there too, but it's okay.
Yeah, let us-
Sunday, another 1:00 game. We got the Green Bay Packers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. We have the Packers as 2.5-point road favorites. The total set at 49.5. I'm the only person on a side here with Green Bay. Minnesota has played everybody close. They're not a bad team. I really don't hate Minnesota, but Green Bay is a much better team. They lost Aaron Jones, but AJ Dillon's just a completely fine, suitable replacement for him. Aaron Rodgers is good. He's going to throw the football around. He's going to win the game. There's really not much to it. I just feel like the Packers are a solid team. The line's under 3.5 field goal range. Give me the Packers. Anybody disagree with me?
I mean, I disagree with you, but not enough to make it a pick. I think Minnesota wins outright personally, but that's why I'm not putting a pick on it.
All right, let's move on. You don't want to put a pick on that, but you have a pick on this. That's interesting.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Houston Texans playing the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Got Tennessee minus 10, 44.5 on the total. Nick decided to back Houston. Why? Explain it.
Tennessee is not a good team. Yes, they're at the top of the. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
What?
They're not
Your
a good
pick
team.
is on Houston. You're saying Tennessee's not a good team.
Tennessee's not a good team. I think Tennessee losing, you lose Derrick Henry, you lose half of your offense. That's first thing. You lose you lose Julio Jones. Then what, you're going to throw to Nicholas Westbrook, DD, whatever his name was. I don't know. And then who's their tight end? Francis Swain, Alex Swain, Andy Swain, whatever his name is, Anthony Fursker. There's always, listen, Tennessee's defense has stepped up to the plate. I will not deny that. They almost blew the game to New Orleans last week, dude. New Orleans. Trevor Siemian is a starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. They almost blew that game. I think Tennessee's a bunch of frauds. I think 10 is nice for Houston coming off of a bye. I love Ty God. I think Houston plays with more heart as opposed to the Jets. Or really even the Lions for that matter. I think Houston is more into winning games than the other bottom feeders. I like Ty God off of a bye week. This is 3 weeks removed from him being off of the IR. Hammy's got to be good. Him and Nico Collins are boys. They're getting tight end Farrell Cooper back. You let David Johnson run the backfield, which I think
Who are you even talking about? I don't know any of these players.
Yeah, yeah. He's saying like, oh, who does Tennessee have? and you list off these random ass people. Like, oh my god, this is foolish.
All right. Well, we'll see. Houston plus 10.
That's a
Alrighty,
lot of points.
let's get
It's a lot
back to
of
agreeing
points.
ways. Okay.
It's a lot of points. You're talking a lot of points for an inconsistent offense an offense that hasn't been really that impressive for the past 3-4 weeks since they lost Derrick Henry. Yes, their defense has been impressive. Usually it's their offense carrying their defense. Now it's their defense carrying their offense. If Houston can stay in the game and they can play their own game and Tyrod Taylor can control the ball and Houston's defense can play semi-decent, all you got to lock down is A.J. Brown. You double team A.J. Brown, and then who's going to beat you? Adrian Peterson? I mean, come on. Sorry, Houston plus 10. I'm getting mad.
Alrighty, let's move on to Indianapolis versus the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. We got Buffalo as -7.5 point favorites. We got 50.5 on the total. 3 of us all on the same exact side, and that is the Indianapolis Colts. Anybody want to take the reins here? Who didn't have a pick yet?
No, we all
Oh, we
did.
all did.
We've all had a pick.
You can go ahead. I mean, this is a feel me pick for this. I think Indy's kind of a better team than we think they are. Carson Wentz has kind of been playing better football recently, even though that really scares me because that means he's due for a couple plays that make you want to put your head through a ceiling.
Oh, we've been getting those. Just they haven't been killing him.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The thing that really scares me about this is Indy should have lost last week against Jacksonville. I don't know if anybody watched the game, but they after the first quarter, it was Jacksonville the whole way. And if Indy didn't have a blocked punt, they wouldn't have won that football game. So that's really the only thing that scares me. Jacksonville has a good run defense, but that's about it. Even though they kind of got stomped on by Jonathan Taylor, but Jonathan Taylor's a stud. Anyway, Buffalo's due for 40 any day of the week. It's going to be up to Indy to hold them to under 30, under somewhere around 21 points. I think that's the only way Indianapolis wins this game, but 7.5 is a lot. I think they keep it within a touchdown. I like them to keep it within a field goal. So that's why I like Indy. What about you two? I mean, is it what? Am I being the one to talk about Indy here?
I know. I looked at Sam.
Oh yeah. So Indy is a good football team. Jonathan Taylor is, really starting to evolve and becoming one of the top running backs in the NFL. The Bills can stop the run though, however. So, it's going to be a lot up to Wentz to, not really do anything too stupid, which he's looking more like that 2017 Carson Wentz than, he has since then. So, and the Bills are just so streaky along with every team in the AFC. You never know what we're going to get each week. They go from scoring 6 points against Jacksonville to putting up 48 against, the Jets. I mean, Jets aren't very good defensively, obviously, and just so the difference in this game is going to be the turnovers. I mean, it's Buffalo 1 and Indy 2, I believe, in takeaways this season, and they're both about toward the bottom in giveaways. So if Indy can get the ball out of Josh, get some turnovers, then I think Indy could win his games. So it'd be a very big win for them going with what's Tennessee now, 8-2?
I think so.
Stick. I don't want to cut you. I don't want to cut you off, Stick. But Mano, can I ask why you don't have a pick on this game?
I was talking.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking.
No, I said Stick. I didn't.
I wasn't talking either.
Sam
I was talking, dog.
Sam was making the pick.
Oh,
take your sunglasses off. You'll hear better.
Oh man. Oh boy.
No, I don't have a pick because I think it can go either way. The weather's supposed to be bad on Sunday in Buffalo. So I think the Colts really have a really good chance to cover here, but I think the Buffalo Bills offense has kind of been really shitty the past couple of weeks. I think they're ready to pop. I think the Colts might be a little overvalued, but at 7.5 points, it's kind of hard to make that case. But it could really go either way, and I don't really feel like trying to make a pick on that.
Indy's been one of those teams that plays everyone close. They that could be good or bad. So they're playing, the Jags close, but they're playing the Rams close. So I think they're gonna, it'll be a game.
All right, let's move on. We have the Miami Dolphins visiting the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. We got the Miami Dolphins as 3.5 point favorites, 45 on the total. We got one pick. And that's on Mano.
Yes,
What's on Miami?
sir.
Mano has the pick.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Yeah, you want me to bet on Joe Flacco? Like, that's all that needs to be said here. Like, you want me to put my money on Joe Flacco in the year
Yes.
2021?
Yes.
That's not happening. Miami beat the Ravens last week, right? On a Thursday. They got some time to take their win, celebrate. They played on Thursday, have a nice Sunday off, prepare for the Jets and Joe Flacco. I think this is Miami easily, despite it being in MetLife.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm with you there.
Roll Tua.
Miami's actually looked pretty solid the last couple of weeks. So
I don't know.
Mhm.
I think Flacco makes the Jets a better team than their other two quarterbacks.
Flacco hasn't played all year. He went from Philly to New York, right?
Still think
And then took 5 days off because he didn't want to play for the Jets. Now he's going to start and play for the Jets. Like, no, it's Joe Flacco.
it's the Miami Dolphins. What if the Miami Dolphins showed you this year that's made you confident?
Just beat the Ravens on a Thursday.
Yeah, but you're not. They shouldn't have won that game. The Ravens are such a
But
better
they
team than
did.
the Dolphins.
I think they
But
won
they
that game
did.
pretty handily. I mean,
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Since Nick is saying that they didn't deserve to win a game that they won.
Dude, I don't think that means anything. Okay. All right. You win a good game here and there. You see the Jets beat the Cincinnati Bengals when the Bengals are clearly the better team. And that doesn't mean we talked about that the week after. We all said that didn't mean
They
anything.
beat them 22-10.
Okay. Okay. That's all I'm saying. You can't say that sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't when these bad teams beat good teams.
I will
No, but
say
there's
whatever I
there's
want when I
context
want
to
to.
it.
Okay.
Are we good? Are we ready? We're ready to move on?
Never.
Oh yeah, this will be a fun one with all four people.
Yeah, I know. We're already arguing, and we're going to jump onto this one real quick with
2v2.
the New Orleans Saints visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. We got the Eagles minus 1.5, 43.5 on the total. Two people on Philly, two people on New Orleans.
Go ahead, New Orleans people.
Yeah, we got me and Nick on Philly. We got Sam and Mano on New Orleans here.
So
What do
it's
you
not
got?
like we got me and Stick together, the two shit pickers, and then the two
Right.
guys who were.
Would
It's
you
a
rather
very
back
interesting
Trevor
split.
Simeon or I mean, go ahead.
Let me.
Yeah,
So
Sam, it's all you.
Spell it
Philly,
out for me.
you know what Philly wants to do? They want to run the ball.
Which they're the best in the league at doing.
They're the third best in the league in doing. It's like per game. I mean, very simple. You know who the best team against the run is in the NFL? It's the New Orleans Saints. So make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable is going to be the name of the game, which you've seen. If he's uncomfortable, it gets ugly very quickly. And also, the best team you just call me this stat, doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a shit. New Orleans since 2018, they are 11-3 straight up as an underdog. Sean Payton will always have this team prepared. I don't care who's a quarterback, whether it's Taysom Hill, the ghost of Drew Brees, Trevor Simeon, who gives a shit. I think they're going to win this game outright. It's going to be like a Sean Payton masterpiece, if you will. So, if they can just make Hurts uncomfortable, force him into a turnover or two, it should be a New Orleans win.
Mano?
I'm not buying the Eagles yet. The Eagles have been, I mean, they're solid, but like I not buying into it yet. I think New Orleans has a better defense. I think New Orleans is probably better prepared than the other teams that they've played. I mean, they've had a hot 3 weeks. We can't take 3 weeks and call their entire season like good. I think New Orleans takes this game pretty easily here.
I'm not buying the Eagles. I'm definitely not buying in, but I feel like for week 11, I can buy into the Eagles. The Saints are just like a very average team. The Philadelphia Eagles are home. They've been on a roll. I feel like Jalen Hurts is just going to win a game that he's supposed to win at home here. And then Philly's going to move from 3-6 to 4-6. It's not going to make a difference, but it's going to win us a bet and put another number in the win column. So, Nick, what do you got?
Okay, maybe New Orleans has a good run defense, but they also give up they're one of the top teams that give up the highest completion percentage to opposing quarterbacks, giving underneath routes. All Jalen Hurts has to do is throw 3-yard routes if he's got to run the run play option, the RPO, to kind of get the defense on its heels. What is their run game anyway? Boston Scott and Jordan Howard, you put them in, you run the ball on 3rd and 2, on 3rd and goal, and you let them do it. But Jalen Hurts maybe has designed runs that gets him outside. I think Philly has proved to me a lot the past couple weeks. Philly's defensive coordinator is a great scheme coach. You saw it a couple weeks ago when they played the Los Angeles Chargers, when they burned me again. They played Herbert perfectly. They played Herbert and that whole entire offense perfectly. And yes, granted, the Chargers won at the end of the day. They still covered, and they kept that game. They covered. Listen, they kept that game pretty close, which says a lot for a team with not that good of a defense. Personally, I'm buying in on Philly. I'm buying in on Philly, especially in these close games, and especially when you give me points. I think they play a lot of teams close. I am not sold on New Orleans. I'm not sold on Trevor Siemian. They are supposed to get Alvin Kamara back, I think, which makes a huge difference. But I mean, then what? You're gonna have Siemian throwing the ball to Traquan Smith and Devontae Harris, or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. Listen, I'm not
gonna, baby.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, Trevor Siemian was kicked out of Denver. They started Paxton Lynch over him at a certain point, and Brock Osweiler over him at a certain point. Like, I mean, are you really thinking this guy's a good starting quarterback? I think you're out of your mind. I don't really buy in. I don't buy in on New Orleans. I think they have played a couple good games. They played the back end of last week really well against Tennessee. I will give them that. I think Philly is more of a scheme team, and they can draw up a good game plan. And I think Jalen Hurts is actually going to thrive. He showed a lot to me in the past couple of weeks. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but I'll buy Philly at home -1.5 off of a couple good weeks.
Hurts played the Lions, the Eagles, and the Broncos in the past 3 weeks, and has looked good. We're going to crown him off that. That's the Broncos, Chargers. My bad. Broncos, Chargers, and Lions, and we're going to crown the guy for a 3-week performance here. Okay.
Not crowning him. I'm just saying he's a lot better than Trevor Siemian. But all right, okay.
Moving on.
I don't think I mentioned Trevor Siemian once.
Who's in charge of every single offensive play?
I don't care if they put me at quarterback.
It means
I can give the ball to Alvin Kamara.
All right. This is Sean Payton's. This is his cue to call Sammy Meehan and get him to start a quarterback and prove that he's a good coach.
Hey, I need some money, so I can use a nice game check right now.
Facts. Can't deny that.
Are we good?
I get what you're saying though about Siemian, but he's looked solid at times, from time to time.
300 yards, 2 touchdowns last week against the Titans. Should have won that game.
Mm-hmm. He looked good against Tampa as well.
Right, well, because the Titans suck. Did you not just hear me talk shit about the Titans 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, but I don't
250 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Falcons.
I think
the Falcons are a good team.
Very good team.
The Falcons are a great team defensively. Sorry.
160 yards, 1 tutty against the Buccaneers.
There you go.
Yeah, but he came in second half of that game.
Won the game. Dropped 36 points.
He came in after James's ACL went, see ya.
All right, get us out of here. Get me into Jacksonville's.
All righty. The San Francisco 49ers playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have the Niners as 6.5-point road favorites, 45.5 on the total. One pick on this, and it's Mano on Washington. Or no, sorry.
Attaboy.
Skipping ahead by accident. We got 2 picks on this game.
I was going to say, I have a pick on this?
No.
I was going to say, congratulations, man, for taking a Jaguars game for once in your life.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, fuck that.
Nick is on Jacksonville. Sam is on the under. Why? Tell me.
San Francisco is coming off a season-saving win this past Monday at the LA Rams. Very impressive. I don't think they should have won that game. I don't think anybody in the world thought San Francisco 49ers was going to win that game. I think LA is by far the better team, and I think San Fran stole a win there. And I think that game Monday night was a head coaching little chess game, and it always is against Shanahan and Lifted. Or McVay. I'm sorry, Shanahan and McVay. Okay, so now you're talking about a banged up San Francisco's 49ers team. Debo is hurt. Granted, he's probably going to play. He's still hurt. Elijah Mitchell is hurt. Granted, he's still going to play probably, but I still think that means a lot. You're traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast on a short week. I don't buy it. I think now hear me out. Jags defense isn't that good. They have an above average run defense, which I think will play into which will play into their game plan, especially if Mitchell doesn't play. Like I said, when we talked about the Indy game, Jacksonville was very impressive. That whole 3 out of 4 quarters, controlling most of that game. Jacksonville's their main problem is their wide receivers don't catch the football. There's a lot of times when Trevor Lawrence puts the money on the dime, and for whatever reason they just decide to forget to catch the ball. But you're giving me 6.5 at home. I actually got this at 7.5. I liked it a little bit more than a touchdown, but I'm taking 6.5 just because we're here for the boys. I like Jacksonville at home. I think this is a week that they cover, and I think they can surprise on a short week off an event. I like betting against teams after an emotional season saving win. So I kind of like Jacksonville in this spot because what do they have to lose? They're going to throw the books at them. Urban Meyer's got nothing on it, so screw it. Let's see it.
Yeah, I think everything you just said also applies to the under. Coming off of an emotional win, the offense is going to be a little banged up and whatnot. So, and also just the way that, the 49ers show that they can dominate the ball. I mean, 2 drives last week against the Rams. First one, 18 plays, 93 yards, took 11 minutes off the clock, and it was a touchdown. Another one, 11 plays, 91 yards, 8 minutes and touchdown. So if they can, somewhat replicate just it's going to be 40 team exactly thrives offensive. That's all I got.
I don't know if even if Jacksonville doesn't score, you put that out there every time the Jags play. There's a decent chance they're just not gonna score until garbage time or something like that. That offense is, like you said, Nick, they have trouble just catching the football. I don't know if they put the receivers in the best position every single time. I feel like they have a lot of guys that they just don't use right. But
that is 100%. That is 100% true. I mean, you have listen, I've talked to Andy about it. You have Laviska Shenault, who's clearly excels in the slot. They put him on the outside, and he can't do anything on the outside.
And even if you're going to put him on the outside, bring him inside, put him in motion and stuff like that. Get creative with it. They have athletes, they have dudes there that are good wide receivers. It's just they can't. They're just not putting them in the right positions. Anyways,
we digress.
Moving on, Sticky.
Alrighty. Let's move on to Washington versus Carolina. We got Carolina minus 3.5, 43 on the total. Mano, now you have Washington.
I do have Washington. I had Washington before too, but they just weren't the pick you were making. No, I'm just fading Cam Newton here. Listen, he came out last Sunday, and he looked real good. He looked solid. He looked maybe not Cam Newton old, but he looked like Cam Newton of, I don't know, somewhere in between his MVP season and last year in New England, right? But I think he got the benefit of playing an unprepared defense. I think Washington this week, even though they've had their struggles and they just lost Chase Young, right? There's still names on that defense, and you recognize a Montez Sweat, right? I think they have a full week to prepare for Cam Newton for this offense, and I think 3.5 is a little bit too much. I would put this more towards the pick'em category, and since Carolina's home, they get that 3 points anyways. I think Carolina being favored here is the wrong side, so I'm
plays. All of them were mostly on the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, and he started shoot that. Okay, that works. That works too. What happened? You die?
You gotta.
All right, we're going to go to Cincinnati Bengals at the Las Vegas Raiders. We got the Vegas Raiders +1 at home, 50 on the total. Nick, you have one pick here. It's on Cincinnati. Why are you riding Joe Burrow and the Bengals?
Cincinnati is a better team, straight up, and I don't think that's even a question. Kansas City curb stomped Las Vegas last week. I don't know if Las Vegas can kind of come back from that. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, fresh off of a bye, having a week to prepare for this, having a week to watch this team get beat down. I don't really buy the Vegas Raiders anymore. They've had too many roadblocks in the season this year, from Gruden to Henry Ruggs to Damon Arnett.
Losing to the Giants.
There you
That's
go.
a big one right there.
That's a big.
That's hard to bounce back from.
You want to talk about getting stuck in the mud? I don't really buy this Las Vegas Raiders team anymore. I bought them the first 4 weeks because they were, not only were they hot, but they looked like they were a good team. They finally put it together. They've had a lot of stuff going on, and I really don't think it translates over to arguably the most explosive offense in the NFL with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Higgins, Uzoma, Mixon. Granted, Cincinnati's defense is still here and there. I think Cincinnati takes this on the road. I don't really think the East or this, I guess they're Central Time. Cincinnati, I guess, is Central Time. Central Time, the West Coast really means too much off of a bye week. But I think Cincinnati had enough time to prepare. I put my money on Joe Burrow here. Joe Burrow is the better quarterback. Cincinnati is the better team. You're giving me a 1 point. It's pretty much a pick 'em. I like Cincinnati.
Fact check, the Cincinnati, Ohio is in the Eastern Time Zone.
Okay, that's a shame. I still don't think it matters.
It's okay.
I think it would matter more if they weren't
Still
coming
counts.
off of a bye.
Yeah.
But I think they're coming off a bye. I think they'll be okay. They have a week to kind of prepare themselves. Let's practice an hour earlier, 2 hours earlier, whatever the fuck it is.
I tend to agree with you for what it's worth. Take that for could be good, could be bad. I don't know. Regardless,
Thanks,
we're gonna
Dickie.
move on. Huh?
I said thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, but I'm 19-30, so
And one.
and one. Forget the push. All right, let's move on. We got
Never
the
forget
Arizona
the push.
Cardinals.
Can't forget the
The
Chicago
19,
Bears.
the
push.
19 the 19 wins were good wins though.
They were great wins.
They were culture building wins.
That's what we're doing here, just building the culture.
All right, Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks. We got the Seahawks plus 2.5 at home, 48 on the total. I'm the only person with a pick on this. I have the Arizona Cardinals. I deleted it from our Google sheet, but in there before I had if Kyler plays, and that is a key for me because the Cardinals haven't been the Cardinals without Kyler Murray. I mean, at least last week. 2 weeks ago, what was it? Colt McCoy pulled the rabbit out of his hat or something. I don't know how, but yeah, I don't think they're going to have much luck with that. The Cardinals are just a better team than the Seahawks. The Seahawks just lost, I think, 14 or 17-0 to the Green Bay Packers in Russ's return. Seahawks are just kind of on the decline, waiting to see Russ out the door, even though they don't want to see him go, but he wants to go. But now the Cardinals should win this game. For many of the same reasons, I think the Packers are going to go into Minnesota and cover a spread less than a field goal. I think this is going to be pretty much of the same. So
What's your conditional pick then? What if Kyler doesn't play?
I already put
he's
it
going
in
to
for
play. He
him.
practiced today. It's Wednesday. So, why wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, I see that, Sammy.
A good provisional pick around the board.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's fucking Giants plus 11.
All right, I'll make my provisional the Cincinnati Bengals since I just hopped on that with Nick and gave you a little. I threw you a bone before.
Nope, it's the
Who keeps
Giants.
putting the Giants on Monday?
I do like Bones.
The Giants are going to make this a game.
The same
and they're gonna-
the same
they're gonna
person who thought
make it
Daniel
heartbreaking.
Jones was a good franchise quarterback.
Breaking news: the Cleveland
do that.
Cavaliers are putting in Taco Fall.
Oh my goodness.
Boston Celtics
that
legend
matter?
right there.
We interrupt this program.
For breaking news.
Okay, let's move on. Last 4 o'clock game on Sunday, we have the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Chiefs minus 2.5, 56 on the total. We got one pick. It's Sammy, and he's on the over. I can't tell you you're wrong in this situation.
So Nick said a couple picks ago that the Bengals were arguably the most explosive offense in the NFL. I think there are two teams in this game that are both more explosive, and that would be both teams in this game, the Cowboys and Chiefs.
I don't think sorry, I hate to butt in, but I don't think the Chiefs have proved it all season. They proved it last week. That was it. But
Yeah, and there's also those two previous seasons where went to the Super Bowl both times where they looked okay from
those
time
two
to time.
previous seasons don't matter in this year.
With essentially like these almost the same weapons here and there. So
And how come they haven't done it? Why didn't they do it 10 weeks straight? They only did it 1 week out of the 10.
Because they were asleep a little bit. They had some issues going on. Patrick Mahomes trying to play hero ball every down. I think he's kind of realized, like, hey, I don't have to be the hero every play. And also, Jackson Mahomes cannot set foot near the stadium come Sunday because he was not there Sunday night and Patrick was back.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget what Patrick Mahomes has done these past 2 seasons, Nick, you fucking idiot. Like, he went to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. He's an MVP already at like 25, 26, however old he is. You know, let's not a shitty start to this season does not diminish how great that offense can be. And last week, I think they showed, hey, we got to swagger back a little bit. And then there's the Dallas team, where they can light it up as well, just as much, if not more, than they got weapons everywhere and probably a better offensive line as well. So that's why I'm not going either side here. I'm not saying Casey's going to win. I'm not saying Dallas is going to win. I'm going to say there's going to be a lot of points. Both teams can really light it up. I think both teams got 30. The 425 game on Sunday is like my favorite game of the week. So I expect some fireworks here. Something like 35-31, something crazy. It's going to be a great game. So give me points. Right. I had KC at first, but kind of backtracked because the Dallas offense can also light it up. So
whoever's going to get the ball last is going to win the game, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think KC loses at home.
I would be inclined to live bet at some point in this game, like at halftime or something like that. If a team's down 7 or down 3 or down 5 or some shit like that, I'd be on the other side, a little sprinkle on it. I don't think we have to call the Chiefs back. I think we can call them alive. I think they have a pulse.
Yeah, I'd say that all the way back, it went after 2 or probably 3 weeks straight of them looking, normal.
Drop 43 times and then come talk to me.
I'm not saying 40, but stop making these boneheaded turnovers. Stop, that's pretty much the issue. So
yeah. If this is the limit of Pat Mahomes, if this is Pat Mahomes just coming out and be like, I'm going to test my limits, right? See what we can do, what we can't do. And then next year or in the playoffs, he pops off again. That's a pretty good strategy, knowing they can probably win whenever they want. I don't think the problem though is the offense. I think it's the defense.
Oh yeah. And prior to last week, it was the turnovers. They're still I think top 3 in the NFL in turnovers. So yeah, they're second to the Jets. They have 20 turnovers in 10 games.
Again,
so
I just don't think
if they can start protecting the ball a little better, the team's gonna be in the AFC Championship again.
Can you picture that team losing at home? I in a game
Chiefs?
like this. Yeah, I can't picture the Chiefs. I can't picture the Chiefs losing at home in a game like this. That means a lot where the stadium is bumping. Granted, yes, Dallas Cowboys have a very stout defense, arguably the defensive player of the year in Trayvon Diggs. But
overrated.
One of the most explosive team in the NFL. You think they're going to lose a game? Probably not. And I think I would take them under. If I'm going to take a pregame bet, I would take Kansas City minus 2.5. That's just where I'm at.
I had that at first, especially with the Chiefs playing so poorly all season, and they're still at the top. They're right there at the top of the division. It's just I think all of them have 5 wins right now. Maybe someone has 6 at this point, but the
Chiefs have 6.
The fact, yeah, and the Chiefs are in first now. They could have been buried a few weeks ago if the Chargers, did what we thought they would, and then they just shit the bed a few weeks.
Oh my God!
The Chiefs team, the fact that they're played this bad and they're in first in their division, or wherever they are, I don't have it in front of me, but it's very dangerous for the rest of the AFC. So,
all right, let's move on. Sunday night.
Talk about the fucking Chargers, please.
Oh boy,
the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Los Angeles Chargers. You got the Chargers at minus 5.5, 47 on the total. Mano has the only pick on this. It's Pittsburgh. When they made the schedule, I feel like they thought this was going to be a lot better game than it's going to be, but nonetheless,
this game's going to be electric.
Let's hear it.
This game's going to be great.
This game is going to be electric. Hold on, let me pull up my.
If you love Big Ten football, you'll love this game.
Yeah. No, I don't think the Chargers are all that special. I think Pittsburgh played a really shitty game last week. Obviously, they tied to the freaking Lions, right? How do you not beat the Lions. So I think it's a bounce back game for the Steelers. I don't think they've played as poorly as everybody's made them out to be. It was kind of the same thing last year where they were undefeated, right? But they weren't, and they were clowned for being undefeated. It's like the worst undefeated, like worst 12-0 team of all time or some shit like that. But they weren't like they weren't that bad, right? I think they can cover 5.5 points here. Bounce back game
Ben
for
doesn't
the
play because
Mason Rudolph's not good.
They're like expected to not have Big Ben because he's not vaccinated, so they're expected to not have Big Ben. That's why.
Well, now there's Rodgers, and that was an issue. Granted, that was earlier in the week, though. Actually,
yeah, I don't know if he doesn't play. I think I'd have to take like a second to think about it, because if they're I don't know how you pump Mason Rudolph out there again. I would throw Dwayne Haskins out there, and just try. He can't be worse, right? I'd have to think about it, but I still like Pittsburgh here. I think I might still like Pittsburgh if the line jumps because he's not playing. But 5.5 for Mason Rudolph seems a little bit low, so I would expect him to play, or at least Vegas expects him to play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like the Chargers here, but they're on my no bet list, so forget it. Just forget it. Because this is a game where they win it by a field goal for no reason. That both of these teams just are playing turnover back and forth, 3 and out, back and forth, where it's just an ugly ass game where no offense can really figure out what's going on. Chargers are not going to have Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa, whichever Bosa it is, because he's got COVID. So that this is a COVID-stricken football game again. I don't really trust the Chargers. I do. There's no reason the Chargers can't put up 60 points. There's no reason. There's literally no reason why this Chargers team can't put up 40 points a game every single game. I don't understand it. I don't. All right, sorry, I had to get.
Also, to whoever said Big Ben's not vaccinated, he is.
Okay, is he expected to play?
He said, yeah. So I mean, they're planning. They're giving like Rudolph the whole game prep and all that, but like with Big Ben, they'll just throw him in. I think he knows what he's doing. So
yeah, he knows how to throw the ball 2 yards down.
I think he will be playing. If I had to guess, but I'm not really seeing any definitive answer from anybody. So
Big Ben has just as much of a right to be in a museum as Joe Flacco does. That's how I see him. That's how honestly, that's how I see both of them. Big Ben should really not be. What does he really do for your team? You probably benefit more from having Dwayne Haskins in that team than you do from Big Ben.
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins was pretty bad.
He's pretty bad. So is Big Ben. Big Ben can't throw the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Oh boy. All right, let's move on. Monday night.
Oh yeah, let's move on. This is great. Let's keep going.
New York Giants, Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa. Tampa Bay minus 11.5, 49.5 on the total. Somebody put New York Giants. I don't agree. I mean, look, my pick 'em pool, I picked the Giants plus 10.5 because I feel like they are probably going to keep it close-ish. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for this game.
My problem is Tom Brady lost a really bad game last week, and now he's playing a team that he's going to
lost 2 straight games.
He just there you go. Thanks, Sam. Make it even worse. You think he's not going to just absolutely flame this team right now? You think he's not? My thing is, I think Tom Brady's going to go for 5 touchdowns. Like, why would he not just absolutely?
DJ's going for 6 then.
Didn't DJ have 4 or 5 last time he played Tampa?
Yeah, they should have won that game.
We did win that game. Yeah.
No, they didn't.
But that Brady wasn't.
They did not win that game.
The Giants did not win that game.
It was some bullshit again, but yeah, they didn't win the game.
Yeah,
they didn't win last week. I don't know if they won in his debut. His first game was against Tampa Bay too.
But Brady was.
That was Jameis. I'm talking about last season.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they lost
Tampa.
on
a
2-point conversion. Yep. It was
a
2-point conversion that wasn't called.
Yeah, there was a PI that wasn't called. Something like that. So
that was a Monday night game. They should have won that game.
And the Giants, like Daniel Jones, especially, they played better on the road.
Giants are getting healthy too, for what it's worth.
Yeah, so they'll probably have Saquon back. They'll have a healthy Galladay, Shepard as well.
Shep Daddy's always ready to play. He knows he's always ready to play.
So yeah, I think the Giants will keep this game like within that 11-point threshold. Like it's going to be
for what it's worth. Tampa Bay's defense has not been playing well the past handful of weeks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Their defense has really not been playing well, and Tom Brady's been the one that had to keep him in the football game. And even then, you're keeping it within a score almost every time. My only problem is Daniel Jones is a nincompoop. Our head coach is kind of a nincompoop. Our offensive coordinator is a nincompoop. And it's just going to be a total Giants thing where the Giants lose by just enough for me not to cover and just enough for me to jump out of a window.
I'm getting real close to snapping on you with the whole Daniel Jones slander. Might be like to be some off the record stuff between me and you, Nick. So
your on the record stuff is Daniel Jones can throw the deep ball and has legs.
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes that's all you need.
And is cleaning up his turnovers. I mean,
the Giants.
It's a third-year quarterback that he's getting a little better.
The Giants start winning football.
We're done.
I can go.
As I was saying,
For now.
speaking of off the record, let's head there. You can check us out on social media. capsON Sports. I was going to say you can check us out on socials, but I didn't say the all part, so I couldn't say all socials. You can check us out on social media. capsON Sports on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The website, capsonsports.com. Pretty much it. Any final words, thoughts, anything to say before we go?
Shortly before we recorded this podcast, I got a phone call. The phone call told me that everybody's going to have a winning record. So just how it's going to be.
Okay.
That's just how it's going to be this week. I'm just letting you know.
I hope it was a pretty important person.
I don't know if it's even possible.
It is
I guess
possible. It is
It is,
possible. And I'm not revealing my source because then that would blow their cover. So when they call me next week and they inform me what's going on, I don't have to blow their cover. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's pretty fair. For myself, Sam Meehan, Nick Tobias, and Anthony Mano, this has been week 11 episode of the capsON Sports Podcast, and we will see you next week.